So as Joe mentioned, we are focusing on pre-call planning, and as we were prepping yesterday for the webinar, Joe and I discussed this tool, how he uses it, how he has seen clients create substantial wins through it. He's actually on site at a client right now, as he mentioned, helping them generate more meetings and more
He's trying to
face-to-face
hide there. He is. Hey,
opportunities.
Ben.
And this is also something that can be done in 5 minutes. Everyone's busy. Adding on another task to prepare for a call or a meeting just sounds like another task to do, but this is something that can be done in 5 minutes. And what it really helps you do is just get yourself in that mental space. What are you having this call for? It can be used for prospects. It can be used for long-term clients. One, to help you set the agenda, because if you're facilitating a meeting, there is a solution or an outcome that is important to you. Yeah, the client may come and say, hey, I really need to talk about this. And you can determine based upon your leadership of the relationship, what is more important, the thing that you brought to the table to discuss. And maybe you put what the client issue was on the next agenda, and or you throw out the agenda completely and you address what the client need is in that moment. But what this pre-call planning sheet does to provide a structure for you to stop what you were doing and move into that transition moment to get prepared for the next conversation and the meeting that you've set up. Joe Gerard, we partner together. He works, he is the CEO, president, CFO, I don't know, of Change Grow Achieve. We've been working together for 5 or 6 years. We also partner in working with clients, sales and marketing and go-to-market extraordinaire. And then I'm Kendall Rawls with the International Succession Planning Association, which is geared towards providing tools, resource, education, and implementation tools for professional service providers that can be implemented immediately into your practice, add immediate value, and help you create additional impact or more impact on your clients and grow your practice. So with that, I'm now going to throw it over to Joe for him to lead the discussion.
I will accept the throw.
Awesome.
All right. So yeah, this is a really this can be either as simple or as complex as we want to make it. Pre-call planning is really just basically, what are we trying to get out of this meeting? What are we trying to get out of this interaction, this relationship, this conversation? It really depends on what we're trying to do. Like I said, I'm on site with a client's office right now in California, and we just had a meeting with our sales team and try to help them solve some problems. So going into that, we're saying, it's almost pre-call planning that meeting. What are we trying? What's our outcome from that meeting? What's ideal response that we can get? What's the ideal thing we can take away from that? So it's really thinking things through before they happen. And so for me, I've been using this in the last little while. This is actually a big topic with a lot of clients I work with. I've got a client, they are a global client that does manufacturing and like dyes and extrusions, and from clients that do like employee assistance programs, diversity, inclusion, to wine cellars and cooling systems, you name it. This is what we work on. So clients of all sizes and shapes. And we can do as complex of a pre-call plan where we can sit down and look at a full organization, who's involved, who are the stakeholders, what's happening in the supply chain. If you're doing succession planning, you might be working with a big organization. Or if I have somebody that just has some idea, something they want to run past me, and it's the first time I'm meeting them, I can do the same thing, but I can do it while I'm dialing the phone to say, let me figure out what this looks like and what's the ideal interaction that I can create. An example of this is one of my large clients that just joined. I remember going in, we've done like 4 or 5 meetings. They were looking at me from like 10 different providers for doing sales training and coaching. And in the meeting that I had, I knew I was going to be meeting with the managers, their managers, those managers, and then a top boss who also had bosses. So I had to imagine who were all the people. There's probably 10 people that I had to meet with. Who are all these people that are going to be in that room? What are their roles? How are they interconnected? What are the challenges each one of them have uniquely? And what do I need to sort of get everybody to feel through that meeting? So ideally, we can come away with a bit of a challenger mindset of them going, I didn't think about that. Because if we get people to think differently about themselves, then we'll get them to think differently about us. It's not necessarily about our product. It's not just about our offer or what we're doing, but it's that feeling that we create that our product has, the experience they have with us, the experience they have in that interaction, to get them to stop and go, that's interesting. Can we explore that further? So through the lens of succession planning, the International Succession Planning Association, this is what I want you to think about. All of you that are going to be going out there and you're going to be talking to potential new clients, it's not just telling them, hey, I got this service. Hey, I got this thing I want to show you. It's about where are they at? Where do we want them to go? And what are the gaps that we have to cross? One of the gaps we talked about yesterday, I don't know if Gary's on this call, but we talked about this idea that people already understand what succession planning is. We might have to work them through the idea of what the assumptions they're making to what the reality is. And if we can change some of those assumptions, we're in a better position to have the right conversation. So our goal is not always to work them from A to Z, but really know, what do we share? What questions do we ask? What insights do we share? How do we empathize? What roles do we play? All of these things come into play when we're doing this. So this document, you guys should have access to this as well. If not, we'll send it to you. But this is one that I use, and there's lots of ways we can look at this. All we're trying to do is say, okay, who am I talking to? If it's just one person you're talking to, so a company and role are the same, but also who else is involved. When we think about stakeholders, we think about buying committee. We just want to know, okay, is this somebody that might want to buy from me? Who is going to probably be making this decision? How much do they need this and when do they want it? That's really what we want to start with. And what's our goal in this outcome? If we're trying to book a meeting, how are we having that phone call? If we're in a meeting trying to get them to introduce us, what's the outcome? So all of this is going from, where we're at now to what our goal is. So, we can scroll through this quickly and then we'll go through it. What we're trying to do is we're going to ask, what do we know about this person? What do we want to know? And Kendall's in charge of scrolling. What do we want to know about them and this situation? What do we want them to come away thinking, knowing, or feeling about us they might not already have? What could they say? And then what do we want them to do initially? And maybe if they say no, what else could they do? So we're going to work through this. This isn't intended as like a qualification tool where these are the questions you're building. This is for your own personal sort of self-questioning to say, what do I need to think about going into this? So that I don't know if you've ever heard of like the reticular activating system in your brain. Kendall, you know about that. The RAS, right? Is where, if you hear your name in a crowded room, the reticular activating system is the thing that goes, oh, I remember that. So when we do this, what we're doing is tapping into that RAS, which is basically a part of our brain that keeps us safe. By doing this, we're priming ourselves to look for the right things and look for the triggers so that we can share the things that are meaningful. Otherwise, we're in a reactive mode, which really makes our brain fire in a very, very busy way. So